This is Jamin Mayer, Parker Tree Service, Longmont, Colorado, June 23rd, 2021. I'm doing a follow-up on a tree, on a locust tree that was pretty stressed last year. It did not have this trunk damage the way we see it now. At the time, the trunk was damaged, but the bark had not fallen completely off of it. We did basically some pruning to target deadwood only. In this case, the tree has started to develop more deadwood in the tree. And right up here, we can see some tip dieback happening here. Then that means I would likely expect that tip dieback to be just 100% that branch be dead. The vascular system is compromised on the south side of the tree. Last year, approximately 11 months ago, I covered a video on this exact tree. And so first it has locust canker, all right? And then as a result of locust canker, there is locust borer. We're gonna walk up close and show some of the effects of that and what's going on. And to be clear, with this tree, it first contracted a fungal disease, locust canker, and then other insects came in to help basically start processing the tree or to break it down. I think each and every insect has its own job in nature, and some jobs are, I think of it as nature's garbage disposals, all right? But anyhow, so you'll see that there's kind of fresh sawdust that's formed here. There's a lot of sawdust down here, okay? And there's sometimes there's a delay sometimes when maybe a client calls an arborist, okay, and they may observe insect activity when it's almost kind of too late. But I'm going to speak about whether it's what the fate of this tree is. And there's some unknowns, and then there's some knowns. There's kind of some if-then logic as well. If the tree does this, then this will happen. And if this happens, then this will happen. So I'll get to some of that. So right here we can see this is brand new cambium callus wood that's trying to form. And it's forming just fine. What that means is there is a small possibility that the tree can completely heal and seal up this whole wound. Small possibility, but not completely impossible, as I have seen it happen before. Typically, if there's like an injury to the trunk, like maybe a vehicle crashed into the trunk of a tree, I have seen trees completely seal off the decay and manage and deal with that successfully. But in this case, there's an unknown on this. Another subject that I wanted to show was, let's see here, when there is internal damage on the vascular system of a tree, you may not know it until you do maybe a quick little test, and it's like a sounding test. I usually just take my fingernails and just tap on the bark. It's kind of like mimicking a woodpecker. Woodpeckers they're gonna pop around the tree, and they're gonna listen for like a cavity, a void within. So if there's bark that's separating from the actual hardwood, okay, so listen. Okay, so see an exit hole there. It means this bark is coming apart, it's separating. So then if I do that for more of the tree in certain spots, then I can go, okay, darn, I can see that in those areas of concern there'd be more loss of vascular tissue. So then there's another subject that I have, is what I call rate of decline, meaning how fast is this tree dying, if it does completely die. So that would have to be, well, number one, determined at a future date after you examine the tree for a course of time. So if the client is kind of willing to work with me on this one, we watch and observe one more year. I just say one more year, and kind of be patient with it to see if the tree is starting to bounce back. And I see more vascular tissue forming on the sides of the trunk to see if that actually seals up. Think of like a zipper zipping up a wound. What I'm saying is the potential of the callus wood starting to form. The complete sealing over that wound might take 20 years if the tree has the energy to do that, and if conditions are right to not affect the tree, that whole process from happening. Okay, but anyway, rate of decline. So I'd say last year we took out, I don't know, 10% of the crown. This year we can take out just a tiny bit more just for eyesore purposes. And then the jury would be out on more dieback and what we see formed likely next year. Okay, so there's a couple of subjects in this whole video, and I usually use these videos for educational purposes for my clients, because I don't always meet with clients on a job site or a quote appointment, because everyone has their own schedules and stuff. And then videos are just a great way to communicate this type of stuff, things that I see from my point of view. And the other thing is, sometimes a true diagnosis probably can't or shouldn't happen for years, months, seasons, whatever you want to say, unless it's a real smoking gun situation. But sometimes diagnosis can take a while to completely, holistically understand what's going on with a tree.